Today, while Hesse guides herself around Punta Arenas, I'm going to visit Chile's Parque Nacional, Torres del Paine. This will be the first and only time we separate on this trip, but I just have to find out whether or not the park is as beautiful as the rave reviews I've heard and the pictures I've seen. We're going to take the bus over to Punta Arenas Airport, fly to Puerto Natales, and once we arrive we'll have to board another bus, and it'll be at least 3.5 hours, we're told, to the nearest entrance of the immense Torres del Paine National Park. Just a few moments we'll be at Punta Arenas Airport and boarding a plane probably not much bigger than this bus. Though the scenery below is perhaps not so remarkable, what is remarkable is that it's Terra del Fuego. Same as always, the land is sparsely populated and scarcely developed. When the flat lands below were dotted by campfires, hence the name Terra del Fuego, the relative drabness below must have looked bejeweled from above. Perhaps, but that was before the advent of airplanes. Okay, enough of such ruminations. Our short flight is over. We've arrived at Puerto Natales Airport, and we'll very soon be boarding our bus to Torres del Paine National Park. This is an excursion offered by the Norwegian Crown. I do hope it's spectacular because it certainly is expensive.
So we have to stop. Okay.
We're working our way up towards Torre del Paine. This is our first stop. It's a long ride, so we're getting off here for a minute. Just a few more moments and then back on the bus. Her guide is very informative and seems quite smart. She tells us that her father, like most well-to-do ranchers, was a Pinochet supporter. This before she realized that she probably shouldn't be talking politics with a bunch of Americans she's just met. So now we're going to stop again at this little general store where there's really not much to buy except bottled water and some very nice postcards. The Chilean ice fields are the third largest in the world after Antarctica and Greenland. A substantial portion of the ice fields are in the Torre del Paine National Park. Hopefully what we see during our short visit will be comparable to these beautiful postcards. Okay, we're back on our bus now. Here we go again. Bus ride from Puerto Natales Airport to Torre del Paine National Park. It's about 70 miles and we're more than halfway there. As we get close to the park, the bus driver stops one more time so that we can take a good look at the panorama, the beautiful view. Already we can see the snow-covered so-called towers, some of them covered with glacial ice. We've been told that we're going to see some of the more well-known, meaning some of the more accessible formations. But these ice fields extend far to the north and to the east, clear over to Argentina. In spite of the lake right in front of us, the soil seems very arid, almost parched. That's not too surprising because we're still in Patagonia, and most of Patagonia is either desert or close to it.
It's all focused on me, I mean.
So we're back on the bus, and here comes our intrepid, very interesting guide. No, it's not to do with seat count. There aren't enough passengers. Maybe she wants to make sure she understood a question from the back. With the possible exception of politics, our knowledgeable guide seems to be ready and able to handle any question.
It's all focused on me, I mean.
You understand too? No? What the men need to make happy the girls? Not credit card.
Just 1 minute.
Now for one last picture taking or smoking break before we get to the park. Well, we're finally very close to a south entrance of Torre del Paine National Park, and we're looking around at the spectacular scenery, and I'm just trying to grab a few shots here, thinking how can I do justice to all this scenery with a single short take? Well, the simple answer is that I can't, and we haven't even entered the park yet. Up ahead are some wild guancos related to llamas, alpacas, and even camels. So just like that, we've compressed a journey of about 5 hours to about 5 minutes and are now queued up outside the park and seeking admittance. This is the entrance to the park. So, this being an increasingly crowded world, even here at the bottom of South America, there's a short line to get into the park, but it's not going to take very long. We've made our way into the park, gotten off the bus, and are walking. We're going to cross that little bridge over to a hacienda where a very specially prepared, wonderful lunch awaits us, we're told. I'm not going to spoil it for myself or any of the other guests by sticking my camera in their faces. Lunch was great, also the conversation. I was there with a lot of people who've been all around the world, lots of different places, and everyone agreed that the views here were spectacular, even from our table. So after our hearty lunch and all the good conversation, we're back outside again admiring the views and taking pictures while our bus idles impatiently. And just like that, we have in fact reboarded. And off we go, slowly back to Puerto Natales Airport. After just a couple of miles, the bus comes to a stop. Apparently there's one more treat for us here on our day trip to Torres del Paine National Park. As my busmates start trudging up this nondescript, barren-looking hill, my camera stays back and takes some pictures of the beautiful vistas and vegetation with names that are unknown to me and will remain so. I hear the guide say, 5 more minutes. Camera's still going, it's time to start running, and I am. I'm out of breath already. I'm approaching the top of the hill, and I can see I better get there fast. I want to take a good look. These falls are called the Salto Grande, or Great Leap. The drop is about 60 feet. The water flows out of Lago Nordenskjold, or Lake Norway Fjord, into Lago Pejoe, one of the many glacial lakes here in Torres del Paine. Although there is much more to see, we've only been here for a short time. It's clear that southern Chile and Norway have a lot in common. There are logs lying around all over Patagonia, and particularly Terra del Fuego. Because of the absence of putrefying bacteria, trees down from natural causes can lie around for a long time before they decay. And now we're back on the bus again and en route to Porto Natales Airport. And these are the last guancos we're going to see, at least in the park. So after a fairly long bus ride back, we'll be flying again over the somewhat ordinary terrain of the quite extraordinary Tierra del Fuego. And a short plane ride, about 125 miles, will put us back in Punta Arenas. From there we'll head back by bus to the port of Punta Arenas. Punta Arenas meaning sandy point, the southerlymost place of its size in the whole world, where I'm looking forward to being reunited with my wife, Jessie, our travel diva, who hopefully is safely back on board already. You know, the dock's not shaking, it's my camera work. I'm so excited to be back, as now I see Jessie. We'll swap some stories of our adventures today, and no doubt also share them with some of our cruise mates later. For now, however, many of us have picked a rail to watch Punta Arenas recede as the Norwegian crown leaves the harbor. In a few more moments, our time here will be just some more remarkable memories. We'll be heading back to the Straits of Magellan, from which we're going to get a very good view of the Chilean fjords. By the time we get to Chacabuco, our next port of call, we will have been at sea for 2 days.